I didn't like that Stephen A. did that.
Oh, let's go.
I didn't like that because I get it. You want to speak out about it because it's the biggest thing in sports, and you work with this guy. But there's things in that he could have just not said.
Like what?
Like I was in the meeting with Bob Iger or one of them, Jimmy Pitaro, whatever, one of the guys. He was like, I can't protect you, but I wasn't there. Yeah. I hope he didn't do it. Yeah. You don't got to, because now what you're doing is like you like painting the picture. Like, okay, this might be true. And then you just putting that narrative out there with the bosses that he's going to be out of there. Like, he could have just not said any of that and said, They
just gave him $100 million. He's in the room.
He's a company man. He could have just not said anything. He could have just not said anything. If it's my boy and he's going through that, I'm just not going to say that.
But those are the forces.
I'm going to just sit this one out.
Those are the forces. You have an opportunity.
Make you say something. You got a platform. You can have to speak on it.
You can speak on it without saying certain things.
No, that's true.
And it sounded like it almost came across like he was throwing him under.
Yeah, no, that's real.
And it was like, you didn't have to do
the way I saw it, and look, everybody know that I look at Stephen A. like I know him and then I know it. And I don't like it, but I like him. So like I'll just be like, you ain't gonna like me because I'm never gonna stop talking about you versus it. That moment was a manipulation and an undercut of Shannon Sharpe. It was intentional because he's sophisticated enough to know how not to do that. When I see you talk about Jay-Z and you vouching for something that happened 20, 30 years ago, allegedly, that didn't even happen, but maybe that's your confidence. And it ain't affecting your bottom line, so I'm going there for Jay. But then this affects your bottom line, and you literally already said you had a conversation with your bosses. Which I think the conversation was like, yeah, come on, Stephen A., you know what it is. Like, we can't do this. Now, you go figure out how to say that because you brought him here and you were attached to him. But then he comes out and he's just like, look, I don't know, innocence or guilt, which is already something. You were saying Jay-Z couldn't have done this. I was like, but you didn't say.
I know Jay-Z.
I know Jay-Z. You know Shannon. Oh. You don't?
Right.
We don't?
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there. And I'm like, dog, if my boy ever said I wasn't there, you just saying anything could have happened.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't want Stephen A. to lose $20 million and all that, and I don't want Shannon to be the reason. But I also don't want you to be the reason Shannon don't get $100 million. Right. By not being his boy in that moment. So play it. Play it. If you don't know, you don't know. You don't say, I don't know, and that's why I'm saying I know I got to say something.
Plus, he was using words to soften his own stance. I said that to you. He was like, it made me uncomfortable. What the fuck does that mean?
It
made you uncomfortable.
The boss has already told you it's in for him. Do you want to get some of this too?
Exactly.
And you're like, no, I ain't feel good about that.
Right as soon as he did that, I was like, oh, he washed his hands of his boy completely. Which means they probably weren't boys to begin with. It was transactional.
We knew they weren't boys. Remember when Shannon was gone from Fox? And Shannon was running with this narrative, and I let him run. Me and him even got on the phone. I was like, I ain't got nothing to say.
And he outed him. I know you going.
Shannon had everybody fooled that he had mutually agreed to leave Fox and walked away. And then Stephen A. gonna go somewhere and say, he got fired, and I hooked him up. I was like, and I ain't called Shannon back on that or nothing like that. I was like, that ain't my business, but y'all got something to talk about. And at that moment, I knew this was just like, yo, Shannon is popping. We popping. Let's pop together. But that don't mean we rock together.
I think it was the opposite. I don't think they was popping. I think Shannon was. And
you don't think First Take was popping? It still was number one. Don't do that.
Anybody that was really still watching it like that.
I don't watch it either, but number one is number one.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you, back at like 10 years ago, I worked at this job where ESPN would just run all day. Nobody was actually watching it.
That's still today.
I know. My point is, there's a difference between you having ratings and having cultural impact.
Oh, relevance.
And sometimes you have ratings just because it's a popular channel and it's just on. But people were actually watching Shannon. I don't know if people were actually watching Stephen A. like that. But Yeah, I'm just thank you, appreciate that. But with Stephen A, I think he felt the pressure of the impact of Shannon and what they was doing over there. Right. So as soon as he was out, it was like, oh yeah, now I could be the big homie again because he's gone. I'm gonna tell everybody he got fired. And I was, look, I came and saved the day. You know, us over here, number one, I brought him in. Right. Because I like Shannon.
It's a chess move.
It's a chess move. So now it makes you look like the guy.
Right.
When you weren't really the guy. So I just think that's how he did it. He played into it.
Now it makes him look like he may have made a mistake. So now he's uncomfortable.
I don't think nobody looks at it as Stephen A making a mistake because I don't think anybody believed they was really cool like that to begin with.
Ooh, that part. Nobody was fooled by that. Look, let's not do Stephen A like this either because raise your hand if you're a self-preservationist. Raise your hand if I give a fuck about myself more than all y'all motherfuckers. I love you, love you, love you. Trust me, if the dude walking here, I got one for somebody, I'm like, it better be them. Because I am not, I don't even, like, don't think I don't love you. But he did it. I love me more, though.
He did it.
I am T.O. I love me some me.
Terry, he's like,
go on, T.O. I ain't going to call one of y'all out, but it ain't going to be me.
He pointing.
Somebody got to get it in.
Hey, what do they say? If a bear's chasing you, you don't have to outrun the bear. You just got to outrun your boy.
Yeah.
He's tripping everybody.
Oh, boy.
He's tripping everybody.
This hip ain't going to give it to me. Come on, hip. Let's go. I can get tripped. I might
be in fourth place.
So I am a self-preservationist like Stephen A. But I always say it, protect the guilty. And I just say that because I know how to win without you losing. And that was a moment I'm like, dog, you could have won that moment without Shannon looking like he lost. Right, yeah. And that was a moment that really swayed public opinion because they was like, dog, if the closest thing we can associate him with professionally is like, I don't know, I'm uncomfortable, this ain't it. And Stephen A had the execs hand up his back. Like, they were just like, say it how you want to say it, but you know what's about to happen. And that's fraudulent too. Because I always tell this story, and this is when the first time I looked at Stephen A different, is when he called Max asking, literally, we need you on First Take. And I was sitting in the studio, because I'm ear hustling. It's quiet in the studio. He on the phone. He hang up the phone, and this is why I love Max no matter what. Right. I'm glad he said that. No one chooses football. Football chooses you. It's so crazy people still stuck in Patrick Mahomes in the offense. I'm like, do you see these numbers? This is Marcellus Wiley on the rocks.